Welcome to the Fantasy Cast podcast, where three grown men pass the time by telling each other their deepest, darkest fantasies. Here we go.
Hey, what's up, my freaks?
What's up?
Talk dirty to me.
That sounds like my kind of a t-shirt.
Tell me your dreams, your fantasies, what you desire, what you fear,
What you deserve.
what you need, what you feed, what you crave, you feed for, what do you feed on? You know?
Yeah.
I'm here to talk dirty late into the night.
Yeah. I can't. I'm like a fantasy vampire. I can't tell fantasies in the daylight.
Oh, you're one of those
Only at
kinds of
nighttime.
guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm a day walker myself.
Yeah.
I could do night
I can't.
or day, 24 hours a day.
Yeah. You can tell. You know, like a ventriloquist can talk with the doll while drinking a glass of water. You can tell a fantasy while drinking a glass of holy water.
Dude, I can tell a fantasy just with the way I move my body, the way I eat, everything. It's become everything about me has become a channel for fantasies.
Remember when you were doing a lot of body dancing?
Yes, of course. I feel like got so good at it, did it so much that it's just integrated into how I live, how I love, how I teach, how I
It's definitely
everything.
You
know?
I remember there was a period it was such a second language to you that you would be telling me a story and then you just start body dancing. Like you just went, from one language to another. You didn't even realize it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like being bilingual. You don't even notice it. It's just like coming from your brain. It's just seamless. You know what I mean? And it makes sense to you too. If you spend enough time like in my realm, it makes sense to you too. That's how my clique has always been. We've always been tight like that. Thick as thieves.
Yeah.
We speak another language,
Yeah. I mean, you can body dance. You can understand a body dance from like 300 yards away. It doesn't like you can't
right to the head.
Yeah. You can't read lips from that far away, but you can understand somebody body dancing.
Snipe them.
Yep. No mistake. One shot, one kill. If you take a shot at a body dancer, you best not miss, because they will put out your business to everybody who can watch them dance. They will communicate through dance and rhythm.
Yeah,
all your dirty laundry.
That's true. That's why I moved out of New York.
Yeah. Shit got
I just got into
walls start closing in on you.
It's just it is. It just got too intense. Mm-hmm. And so I had to leave New York. And thank God I did. I really feel sorry for anyone that lives there. It's a pathetic place to dream about. The fantasy's dead. And if you live there, rest in piss.
Yeah.
You're living in hell and you don't even know it.
Yeah,
and
everybody there.
The sick part is they're like, everyone's jealous of me because I live here. You're just jealous because I live here. It's the best city in the world. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's a lie. It's a goddamn lie. I've seen enough TV shows to tell that it's just a dirty, filthy place.
Yeah,
the apartments are so expensive there.
Yeah.
Have you seen these apartments people live in?
I don't watch any movies after the 80s, like after 1989. I haven't seen a movie since then in a long time. And I'm just been led to believe that New York is just a fucking piss hole, crime-ridden cesspool.
The violence.
Yeah. Everybody there looks like LMFAO. Even the old people.
I want to if I take a trip there, I swear to God, I'm going to be I'll walk everywhere because I'm not getting on that subway. The videos I see online,
mm-hmm.
these people post on Twitter, it just seems like it's just one person murdered right after another, one after another. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like all I watch now is World Star Hip Hop, and there's just so much fucked up shit that happens on the subway.
You can't even eat food anywhere. You can't even go to like a fast food place. It just seems like a war zone. Like everyone's just trying to hurt everyone. People behind the counter are attacking people on the other side of the counter. People on the other side of the counter are attacking people behind the counter. I mean, what is going on? You see these videos, it's just like, my God, what is going on?
I met a guy in a restroom at at a Starbucks in Lower East Side, and we went around back. I was gonna suck him off, in an alley, and I got down and he undid his zipper, and a rat tail came out instead of his dick.
He didn't know there was a rat in his.
No, there was a rat had crawled up his leg, because that whole city is fucking filled with rats.
That is disgusting.
I was so sick. I just ran and just beelined it to the bus station.
Disgusting that happened to you.
Tell me about it.
So you didn't even get a whiff of this guy either, huh?
No. As soon as I saw that the rat tail popped out, and I was like, okay, I see what I'm working with here, and
you're about to go for it.
Yeah, I was about to gag on it, and then I noticed that I saw the rat's asshole, and then I saw a leg pop out, and then the other leg popped out, and I'm like, and then the guy noticed, and he was just so embarrassed because he wasn't from there. He's not from New York either. He's a victim of circumstance. He was from Bulgaria or something. I can't remember.
Right, somewhere where it's like legal for him to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Or really illegal. Like he'd get killed if he got caught doing that. One of these
disgusting countries that just... You go there, you can't even be free in any way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These cesspools that don't even allow Christian people to be there. They cover up your women. And you can't do jack shit. And there ain't nothing to do. What are you gonna go to Dubai? It's like, what am I gonna go to an infinity pool? How many infinity pools can I go to if I can't even have a drink to relax? It just...
We were just talking about Dubai before you came on, Mike, seriously, because we were talking about Lindsay Lohan. And I guess there's some like hotel magnate in Dubai that just pays her to stay in his hotel. Like she just lives in Dubai.
He sounds like he treats women like possessions.
It's either that or it's some kind of business thing, so he can be like, yeah, Lindsay Lohan lives here.
Who would you buy if you could to just like live in your house?
Mickey Rourke, because I feel like he'd always be out front, like throwing knives, or he'd have some kind of cool gun, like an old Western gun.
Yeah, he'd bring you projects and stuff.
Yeah, he's always up to something wacky, but it's always fun. It's never like he'd bring bodybuilders over and he'd smoke cigarillos and stuff like that. It'd be like having a crazy uncle around constantly.
He'd be breeding dogs.
Yeah.
Weightlifting, axe throwing.
I was watching a movie with him in it the other day, like a 2022 movie, so like very current Mickey Rourke, and I was trying to figure out what the fuck is wrong with his face. I couldn't do it. Like his eyes are one is like lower than the other constantly. Like one eyelid is lower than the other. His lips are very large to the point where you can't see his teeth at all when he speaks. And he always his hair is stringy and greasy, and he always wears it over one eye.
You can't tame the man. I still respect him no matter what he does to his face. I still think he's a genuine article, and I think I'm glad he left Hollywood for Florida, where people like him really can be free. Yeah,
he is who he is, and you just got to accept him. I feel like I accept him, and that's why I would let him stay at my hotel rent free.
He's one of my favorites for sure. He's untamable.
Yeah,
I idolize him. I envy him, and I idolize him.
Yeah.
John, who would you buy? John, who would you buy if you could?
Probably like Snooki. You remember her?
Of course.
Yeah, from
yeah, just that little fucking meatball.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind having her around. You know what I mean?
Like 4'8",
4'7", 4'8", 103 pounds.
fuck around and get stuck in the crawl space.
It should just be cool to it'd be like having like a pet.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's not a kid.
No.
It's like but it is. It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's spunky. She brings like a.
She's fun.
Oh, she's fun as hell.
Yeah,
She's fun. She'd always be awake. You know what I mean? Like there's always someone to hang out with.
Yeah.
She if it was a hotel, you could just have her hang out in the lobby and greeting the guests. Everybody would love her.
Yeah. Who'd you pick, Mike?
I don't know. For some reason, right off my dome, I said Katy Perry. I don't know why my mind went here, but for some reason, I just think like, I think because she scares me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she's intimidating.
Yeah, you can tell she is just mean as a junkyard dog. You know?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just having that kind of energy around. I guess I'm a bit of a masochist, I guess. I think I want that to like challenge me, like an ice bath. You know what I mean? Or like
She would challenge you. She would constantly be like negging your hotel.
yeah.
You know, she'd be like, I don't even want to stay at this fucking shithole. Or like, what are you doing to what? Like, I told you I needed like 20% humidity in my room at all times. What are you doing? What are you doing to make that happen?
She would, she would find my weaknesses.
Very,
things I was
very
insecure about,
diva-ish.
and really, pick at them. Mike, don't you think this whole thing is just cope because you don't think your mother loves you? Something like that. And like, Jesus, you know what I mean? Something that would just like, something like that. You know what I mean?
My audio cut out, so I couldn't hear what you said, but I'll just assume it was funny.
It was pretty funny.
All right, so I'll go ahead and get started. Fantasy Cast podcast here with Mike and John. Today the topic is, the vibe is right place, right time. So we're going to be riffing off of the concept of being in the right place at the right time, and whip that into some kind of sexual fantasy. So, John, I know you had something in mind. I don't know if you want to kick us off. You want to let it
Sure.
simmer for a second. Okay.
All right, so I was thinking about like, it's like around the holidays, eating a bunch of crazy food, and I just decided that I'm going to start working out. So I have like one final cheat meal, and then like next day I'm at the gym.
Yeah.
And,
What's your what's on the plate?
I'm just doing cardio at first. I'm just trying to get my heart rate up. And I smell bad. I'm like, could sort of reek of farts from the last like 3 weeks of just food and shit like that.
Yeah.
So I'm blowing little farts while I'm on the treadmill, and there's people that like clearly are like, they smell it. People are kind of like walking away. And I know what's happening, and like I can't help it because I'm just so full of dairy. And people start to like leave. It's like people like by the end of my 45-minute walk, it's just me and this one other guy.
You going on a track?
Yeah.
What's that?
You're
no,
like
I'm just
indoor
on
track?
I'm on a treadmill.
You're like a gym, like a Gold's Gym or something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So this guy sort of moves closer to me, and I was like, okay, this is weird. And he starts chatting me up, and we're just talking about just boring shit. I was like, I tell him I'm done. I'm done with my workout. I was like, I'm going to go in the sauna if you want to chat. So we go in there. I'm blowing just really big, just huge farts. And he's like, do you mind telling me what you've been eating lately? And I was like, I don't know, just like, you know, holiday stuff, bunch of leftovers, try to cook at home, you know, try to eat pretty healthy, but, you know, like Christmas and New Year's just kind of really went off the rails. And he's like, did you make anything like, you know, in particular that you want to share a recipe or anything? And I'm like, no. He's like, cause there's almost a chemical smell to your body. And I'm like, well, I mean, I did do a pre-workout shake. And he's like, what'd you put in it? And I was like, yeah, it's just a little bit of creatine and some other stuff. And so we're talking. He tells me he's like a filmmaker, entrepreneur type guy, does a lot of webcam stuff, and tells me, he's like, you should come by the studio. And he's like, and you know, maybe think about bringing me a batch of whatever it is you made for that pre-workout. I'm like, okay. So the next day I show up there and there's like 8 girls running around in bikinis. Just like they greeted me and said hello, and I was like, what the fuck is this? So the guy's like, did you bring the pre-workout? And I'm like, yeah. And so he's like, do you mind if my girls have some? And I'm like, yeah, sure. So they'll take like a spoonful of it, and I'm like, well, what are you filming? And he's like, have you ever seen cake farts? And I was like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I've seen cake farts. And so those girls eat these.
Wait, hold on. What's cake farts?
You've never seen cake farts?
No.
Fuck.
Jeez, Nathan.
Mike, have you seen it?
Of course.
It's just these girls that sit on cakes and fart on them.
Okay, that's simple enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I give the girls the pre-workout, which I tell the guys, I finally tell them it's Alfredo sauce and creatine. 2 of the girls get diarrhea, like extremely bad, and the guy was like, I feel like maybe we shouldn't film. Like, my girls are all sick. Your drink is disgusting. And I'm just like, what if I could save the shoot for you? And he's like, well, what'd you have in mind? And I go into the bathroom, come out, I'm wearing a thong. I chug my pre-workout. And I sit down on his cake.
Yeah.
I fart on it, and the cake just blows apart.
Wow.
That was it. That's my fantasy.
Is so like everybody's covered in cake?
No, it's just like a small, just like it's just the cake's just destroyed. I can't believe you, Nathan. I assumed that you'd seen cake farts.
No, I'm embarrassed. I've seen a lot of, I've seen the hair bun. I've seen the gas mask fart thing. I've seen a lot of the trendier weird stuff, but I've never seen cake girls.
Huh.
I got to share this with you.
You just did.
Can we share video across this?
I gotta enable it. Hold on.
Oh God. So gross. Why?
It's like choppy. It's like a GIF.
Yeah, or like super early internet.
Yeah.
This doesn't even look American. This
No.
isn't even American.
It's not.
Oh my god.
Look, if you look in the background, she's got whey workout powder, John.
Oh wait, so this isn't even that old.
There's yeah, she's got creatine and Alfredo.
Huh, interesting.
Oh, so this is from your fantasy. Like,
Wait,
so that
I
wasn't
gotta
actually.
zoom in on that. There's no Alfredo in there. It's like
Looks
she's
like
got
whipped
hair
cream.
gel. And she does have whey protein.
Yeah.
Looks like some balsamic vinaigrette. Looks like Perrier, some
Maybe,
spray deodorant, and some whey.
Sheila bag of sack of Sheila G's brownie brittle.
Yep.
That'll do it. All right, I think I got one. I'm ready.
Thanks for sharing.
I'm ready to riff.
All right.
Right
hit me,
place,
Mike.
right time. So I'm thinking back this fantasy. I'm going to take you guys back to college.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Going to school for something a normal person. What's like a normal person occupation that like a normal boy would go for?
It's like business.
Okay, yeah, business major at a state school. I have not in a fraternity, but I share a house with a couple other beefcakes, and we got pretty tight, drinking a lot, and just you reach a certain point in college where you just reach your stride, and you kind of you're on autopilot with your friends and everything is just gelling so well. And somehow, just like all of us got into just kind of shitting in front of each other, going to the bathroom. It's just naturally progressing, just the thrill of it, how funny it is. We think it's funny, but there's, in retrospect, something else going on. So one Friday night, we can just sense that, like, we've all been building up to this. This has been wrapping up for a while. So we're just, we each have a 24-pack of beer. There's 5 of us, and we take turns putting the beer inside of the stove for just like a couple of minutes, just to get some like warm beer going, and we're just slamming these things, chain smoking one after the other. It's when people used to enjoy cigarettes, when you were allowed to do that, and not you were shamed and shunned by people for smoking a cigarette. Meanwhile, everyone is just fucking popping OxyContin literally everywhere and on all these like antidepressants and other sick shit that's just filling them with chemicals. Meanwhile, you can't have a cigarette. A cigarette is like the most dangerous thing they have in the world right now. On the street, people spit on the ground, passive aggressively cough when you smoke a cigarette. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So back then, in this fantasy, everyone was still smoking because they could enjoy life, and you know what I mean. And there's tarps all over the floor, classic thing that I'm into. And we have those like kiddie pools, and we're all taking turns just taking shits in this kiddie pool. There's like 3 of them in a room, so we'll be chilling in the kitchen, where it's just like a breakfast nook thing, where we're just chilling on there, shooting the shit, smoking, and just like cracking jokes, busting each other's balls. Then one of us will go into the front room and just start taking a shit in one of these kiddie pools, right? And we're just doing that like from right after school ends, around 4:30. The sun's starting to set, and all the way till like 10 o'clock, where we're all nice and hammered from that warm beer. And there's 3 things of just filled with feces and diarrhea and stuff. And we all just sit inside of these things. You know what I mean? And we just share stories about just like who we are, what's up, and we just kind of like ladle it on ourselves and stuff like that. No women allowed. This is strictly like a fraternal thing. We wash each other, bathe each other in it, like washing each other's hair, like just like it's like a sleepover thing. You know what I mean? And it just goes all night long. people slowly wind off, like, all right, toweling off, like, all right, I'm going to hit the sack. All right, we'll see you later, man. We're going to chill in here for a little bit longer. We'll talk about, like, oh, man, I'm worried about him. He was having a hard time with his trigonometry or whatever it is people study in college. I hope he passes. Yeah, his dad's so hard on him. I hope he's going to be okay. Do you think we should do a safety check? Like, you think he's going to, like, hurt himself or harm himself? No, man, after tonight, he seemed like he was in good spirits. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what you guys are doing is important.
How do you figure?
No, it's just important for your guys' mental health and like to, unwind and get some perspective. Otherwise stressful.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I got like kind of confrontational, but yeah, you're right. It's kind of for sure. And it's just like something, years later we'll look back and be like, man, that was really wild and weird. I don't think I've ever done that. And you like, you try to do it in your own bathtub. Like now, if I try to do it, like it wouldn't be the same thing. It doesn't feel the same, Right place, right time.
The collection of different guys' shit that makes it more magical.
Yeah, I guess it ties into John's a little bit. There's a little crossover.
Yeah.
About,
every
flora.
Shit tells a story. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, what did you eat that day?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's going on inside your tummy?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is it, is your belly okay? Is there an ingredient that disagreed with you? It just tells a story. And you just get to kind of like soak up that story.
Yeah, with a piece of bread. Mm-hmm. Right down to the last drop.
So are you, when you're sitting like in this pool of shit, are you smoking and drinking still?
No, the vibe's different. That's where like all that happens in the kitchen, and there it's just like it's all about the ladling, the washing, the rubbing it on your friend's back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like a mud bath kind of, but for shit.
Yeah, it's just like, imagine like a group of like baboons when you see them in a hot spring. It's that kind of feel. Yeah. The windows are all steamed up.
Yeah.
It's very relaxing.
Yeah. What kind of meals do you got going on before like
5-alarm chili, mousse, chocolate mousse, cabbage, Eastern European dishes, stuff that's like boiled meats.
Yeah, a lot of beet. You could see some beet dishes in there, some borscht.
It's a Midwestern college, so like think cheese and like raw ground beef sandwiches and stuff like that.
It sounds very peaceful, very relaxing.
Yeah.
Does anybody come, or is it just like a non-sexual thing?
It's not overtly sexual, but it is.
Gotcha.
But it is sexual.
Yeah.
It's homosexual.
Yeah, it's like a bathhouse in that way.
Yeah, I'm sorry, we're naked. Okay, maybe you don't understand. We're naked in children's pools filled with feces that we've been collectively contributing to, and then we are like rubbing it all over each other's bodies and stuff like that.
The ladle.
Yeah, that's extremely sexual. Yeah. That's good. Okay, I've got one. I'm a general contractor, and I've been doing a lot of work on this restaurant that's was taken, like it's a family-owned restaurant, very popular, and it was taken over by the son of the family. And at this point, he's like an eccentric rich kid, basically, like inherited this restaurant, doesn't care too much about it, is already wealthy from his parents' hard work, and is just like kind of coasting, and he has some ideas. on how to change the restaurant around. So he hires me to do some work in there. I show up and I look at the menu, and I see that everything is like extraordinarily cheap. Like all the food is cheap, all the drinks are cheap. He's basically giving away for free. And you know, it's like, how's this guy? This guy must be taking a bath like every single day on this place. He can't be making any money. But I'm like, all right, fuck it, whatever. Like, he wants to pay me to do some work. That's fine. So the work he wants me to do is he wants me to every month come in and drop the ceiling down by like a foot. So the ceiling of the place, mind you, this is a very, very popular because it's so cheap. You know, and it's like a bar restaurant. It's well respected. So people are coming in, but like every month the ceiling drops a little bit. And he has me slowly take in the door frame. So it's like a pitched door. So like imagine like, you know, like an arch in a church. But it's a door frame. So basically like people with very pointy heads can walk through it. Right. So after about a year of this, the floor, the ceiling is dropped down. So there's like maybe like 5'6" of space in the restaurant. And in order to even get in and like move around, go to the bathroom, go from room to room, you need to be able to fit through this hole for people with extremely narrow heads, like small, narrow heads. So the place, just by like, the guy is really into like, you know, like evolutionary psychology and stuff like that. And he's created this like environment where it's all just like short, skinny people with like pointy heads. And so, you know, the last thing he has me do is he's like, I want you to, this is the last kind of like fun thing we're going to do. Yeah, as like a cherry on top is I want you to build a slide from the top floor all the way down into the basement. And so, you know, I build a slide, like a big fun slide. Like you go up the stairs to the top floor. It's not open yet. They're going to have like a musical space in there. And like right when you step into the room, you go down this like fun slide and it takes you all the way down to the basement. So I finished building it. I get paid. I'm leaving. People are just filing in. I hear like rumors. People are telling rumors. There's like, hey, Gucci Mane is playing a show on the third floor with Demi Lovato and Lil Xan. And there's like rumors spreading around the bar that there's this show. So people start to go up to the third floor. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, that's not, unless they got somebody else to come in and finish that floor in there, it's just a straight drop into that slide. So I don't know what the fuck, like, you know what? It's not my problem. I'm getting paid. I'm leaving. I'm walking down the street right next to the bar, and I'm realized that I lost my keys in my house, and I need to call my roommate to go and open the door, but it's going to be a while, so I need to kill some time. So I'm outside of the bar, smoking a cigarette. I go behind a dumpster and I jack off, and I come, and I lean down to clean up the cum off the ground, and I look through a window in the basement, you know, and I see in there, and it's like all like mahogany wood, looks very decadent and like old money, you know, and there's a bunch of like old rich guys, like you can tell they're rich, bent over with their asses facing the slide. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I look down, and there's a little target that's painted on the ground that they're standing on top of. There's probably like about 10 of them, just all their whole ass is facing the slide. And then it dawns on me, I'm like, holy shit, they're going to have people from the bar walk up because they think that they're going to go see Gucci Mane upstairs and Demi Lovato, and they're going to fall down the slide and these old guys are going to try to catch them, their pointy little heads in their assholes, you know? So I kick in the window and I slide through, and cause I kind of have an idea of how the slide works, I bust out a support thing, like just in the nick of time. And all the people from the bar that are sliding down, last minute, the trajectory changes. Instead of getting launched into these old guys' assholes, they go into a vat, like a big pool of like goat's blood that they were going to use for like a sacrifice. And so just one by one, they're just falling into this pool of goat's blood, instead of into these old guys' assholes. And the old guys are like, what are you doing? We paid good money for this. And like the son of the restaurant comes in and he's like, what the fuck? What are you doing? This is like the new vibe of the restaurant. This is like what we're doing. Like this is like a secret all access. So basically I just ruined their whole thing, but I saved a whole bunch of people's lives, because certainly going down 3 floors into a basement, somebody would have cracked their head open, let alone get like lodged in an old man's asshole. So I become basically a hero, and the owner puts me out, and he tarnishes my reputation around town. He threatens to sue me if I say anything to anybody, and I keep my mouth shut because I'm not that kind of a guy. I'm not going to snitch on somebody for no reason. But I'm like, listen, don't hire me for any other jobs over here. I don't care what you do behind closed doors. I just don't want to have any part of it. The slide was basically like, it had a part in it where it would redirect somebody, you know, like when you're bowling, that machine that takes the pins and sets them up in a certain way, it set up the people so that they were going down head first, you know? So I'm like, this is really, you know, this is progress. This is perverse progress. You know what I mean? Like we think we're in this life making like technological advances to make people's life easier and to save people's lives and to, whatever, but this guy is using this technology to ingratiate a bunch of horny old guys into this freak sex act. So it's kind of like very industrial revolution technology causing people pain and misery instead of making people's lives easier. So that's kind of the end of the fantasy.
As soon as you said that their heads were narrow, I knew that they're going to go inside of someone's ass.
I was struggling in my in the fantasy when I was thinking about it. I was like, do I want it to go into my ass or do I want to be a hero?
Yeah.
You know, and at first it was my first instinct for the fantasy was I had to shit. So I run and I push the bar owner out of the way, and I'm like, get the fuck out of here, I gotta shit, and I don't make it to the bathroom, and so I'm like shitting on the ground with my ass in the air, and then one by one the bar patrons just start piling into my ass, just stuffing me up.
Yeah.
So that's another alternate ending to the fantasy, but I think I like being like saving the day a little bit more than having several people with pointy heads lodge in my ass.
On him either.
But no, I'm not that kind of. That's not my place. Like,
guy.
I'm not that kind of guy. Well, we'll let karma deal with that.
That's
asshole,
the code of the street.
you know?
Street justice.
Yeah. Like, he didn't do anything to me. If one of these other people wants to, you know, call the police on him, that's fine. It's not me. Just don't fucking touch me. You know, don't do any of that weird perverted shit around me, and we're cool. You know, just don't do that shit around me.
Or what though?
Like as soon as one of those dudes comes to my house, you know,
or what though,
and tries to do that shit,
or what though,
I'll give them an ass whooping, beat their ass. You know, one of those old guys. We'll put it to you like this, Mike.
What's up?
If I look outside of my house and I see any one of those old rich guys standing outside of my house with their ass
Knees
up in
or
the air.
ass.
I'm going out there and I'm putting my foot in it.
Bah, bah. Have you heard of Bohemian
not literally.
Grove?
Hold
Have you heard
on,
of Bohemian Grove?
hold on. Yeah, I have, but not literally. Like I wouldn't literally put my foot in there because they might like it, but I would go out and start sending shots at their ass. Yeah, I mean,
For real.
yeah,
For
my
real.
property. Yeah, Bohemian Grove. That's where the like rich people would go to sacrifice.
It's incredible footage. Alex Jones captured some. There's been people researching it for years now, and it's this amazing thing that these guys do. We're talking the richest guys in the world, some of the most rich, most powerful guys in the world.
It's that like it's like a camp or something, right?
Yeah, they go there and they do these bizarre rituals, stuff you've never seen, with just huge budgets. I mean, it's incredible that this still happens. It's amazing. It's the most the richest people in the world. They can have literally anything in the world. Mm-hmm. They go to Bohemian Grove and they put on these plays, these productions. It's incredible.
The spectacle.
Yes.
What's some of the sacrifices? Or not? I shouldn't say the sacrifices because I don't know that. What are some of the rituals?
It's interesting you say sacrifice, because part of the rituals involves a sacrifice, and these guys are getting so into it. Jamie, you gotta look it up. I mean, Nathan, you gotta look it up.
I will. So there's actual footage of
Yeah,
this?
Alex Jones went undercover and got some.
Ooh, who was that? Which rich people were there?
I don't think he said, but he snuck in, and it's really it's a way for rich people to sacrifice their guilt, I think, for being extremely rich.
Yeah. That's kind of like the Epstein Island. Supposedly had a lot of that going on.
Like what? What do you know?
Just like a bunch of rich people going there and getting into weird shit.
Bill Clinton.
And like they had like a drone fly over, and there was a supposedly like a temple, some that where you enter, and then it went like several layers deep into the ground. So there's like, basically like a bunker there. I mean, one would just assume they were just fucking underage people there, but it was all very exclusive and like, only the richest of the rich and the most powerful people.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm. Really fascinating, interesting stuff.
What?
No, you're talking about the most richest, most powerful guys in the history of the world owning their own island, literally transporting other people there and having sex with them. It's really mind blowing if you think about it. Hard to wrap.
Who
your
was
mind
this
around.
again?
Jeffrey Epstein. Really, really fascinating guy.
I was at a hotel and I perchance to see the beginning of the Transformers movie. I think it was the last one with Marky Mark. And it was so incredible. The beginning has this elite military force that's tracking down one of the Transformers. And these guys got all the gear you can possibly imagine. Night vision, state-of-the-art guns. And their formations are so precise, so intentional and flawless. It was amazing seeing them maneuver around and assess the situation and take down this large transformer. I mean, it was incredible what these guys could do.
The kind of timing and discipline it would take to learn how to do all that stuff. And you know what? It's pretty remarkable that the filmmakers were able to capture it and with such fidelity to the point where
detail,
just regular guys.
The detail on this, their outfits, they have all this gear, these like little computers, machines, and nanotechnology. And that's not even like what these guys are taking. They're probably taking nootropics. Their workouts have to be incredibly, and I mean incredibly disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
It's just incredible. These guys are, there's nothing like it. You can look at Dubai, you can look at Afghanistan. There's no force in America that's as strong as these guys.
You ever had a 100 grand bar? Either of you?
Yeah.
So it's a chocolate bar. I don't know how they do it, but the chocolate is so smooth, and they have some kind of caramel embedded inside of the chocolate. It's just an absolutely fascinating process in how they do it. That's like twice baked. First, they bake the chocolate, and then they bake the caramel inside. And so I'm eating this thing, and it's just dancing on my taste buds. Just absolutely incredible. Thousands and thousands of years of chocolate making perfection, right? I go to open another package. It's the exact same thing. Their ability to replicate in the exact same way down to the milligram of weight. It's just phenomenal to be able to reproduce such an amazing product.
You go
it's really mind blowing.
You'll be able to find these bars. That is incredible.
Mm-hmm. Like I could hop on a plane tomorrow. I end up in New Mexico somewhere. I go into a gas station. I open a 1,000 grand bar. It will be the exact same perfect texture and taste that I experienced a few days ago. It's really incredible to think about.
Okay, I got a prompt for you guys.
Hit me.
You are cruising around with your boys, two other guys. It's the 50s. It's Friday night, high school, senior year, kings of the school. Wolfman Jack is on the radio. Hey, it's the Wolfman. Y'all ready for that rock and roll music? He puts on the Big Bopper. Hello? Who's that? What's that song called? Who's the guy that goes on like the phone?
I don't know.
Chubby Checker?
Chubby. What is the song? Let's dance again like we did last summer. Is that one of the songs? Okay, something like that's booming out of the radio, and you guys are loving it. They're like, oh, Chubby C's on. You crank it up. Yo, I got my whole life ahead of me. I'm playing football at Princeton. Me too. I'm going to be going to Vietnam, killing some people. Another guy's like, I'm going to become a hippie. This is going to be so cool. Last summer, you guys are going to be together. And you go to a burger place where the women are your peers. Each one is beautiful, blonde, poofy hair, pink lipstick, blue eyeshadow, squarish, rectangular heads. Okay, Eastern European vibes. Beautiful women. God's women. He made these women first. And they're all skating around, and you get an idea like, hey, I'm gonna put some Spanish fly in this drink, and I'm gonna make all the waitresses drink it. You make a bunch of jello shots of Spanish fly in it. All the girls drink it.
You make them horny, right?
Yeah. Ethan, John, you know what Spanish fly is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a drink. It makes you horny. Okay, so we're all on the same page. Okay, so they all drink that. What happens next? Just spitball. Tell me something.
So
get some ideas.
Okay, so
there's no bad ideas.
I was invite him into the car, right? It's the summertime and it's like 5:00 at night. So the sun is still out. It's a pretty hot time of the day. Invite him in the car. I crack open. I've got, we're passing around like a pint of whiskey that one of us stole from our dad's liquor cabinet. We're all, just getting loose, but I refuse to unroll the windows, and it's getting really fucking hot in there. And it's the kind of car where there's no back.
Are you being
doors?
combative
It's just
about
the
it?
front.
Like people are like, hey, come on, roll down the window.
No, I'm just every time somebody asks me to roll down the window, I'm not combative about it, but I just pivot away from it. They're like, roll down the window. I'm like, would you just pipe down and take another shot of this here? You know what I mean? Or like, roll down the window. Well, this is my favorite song. Who wants, and like, it's just getting really hot, really uncomfortable, and really sweaty in there. And people are drinking like warm whiskey, and they start to just feel the sweat. It just has nowhere to go. You know what I mean? So it's just like perspiration isn't even really dripping off their skin. It's just kind of like pooling, so everybody is just extraordinarily uncomfortable, till finally one of the women is like, I gotta get out of here, I'm gonna fucking throw up. And she climbs over me and she pukes in the front seat, and starts like hyperventilating. And then I'm like, oh man. And everybody is like has the kind of like party foul attitude, and when the whole time it was just me that created this condition that was extraordinarily uncomfortable and sickening. And I just think that's really sexy.
It's like you're responsible for making everyone sick and uncomfortable. How erotic is that?
And also all those hot bodies pinned in there.
Yeah, powerless.
Like cattle, just like rubbing up against each other, unable to leave, both due to my inability to cooperate and social pressure.
You keep changing the subject. You don't even acknowledge that what you're doing is wrong ever.
No.
And they're screaming at you like, would you please let us out of here? Let us out. This isn't funny anymore. And you're just laughing and laughing.
But like, you guys are too high strung here. And I keep feeding them this.
But you're strong as fuck. Like, you're scary. You could really beat any of them up if you wanted to.
Yeah, and they all know that I'm parked like really close to the edge of a really steep drop off. The engine. Yeah. And there's also like the implication that the first person that leaves is like like a pussy, and they'll get, we're talking high school here, so everybody's really like conscious of what others feel about. So I've created both the physical conditions and the psychological conditions to keep these people pinned in here.
Talk about edging,
overheating. Like each one of them probably is running like 102 degree fever in there.
You're like,
It's
okay,
so
if you get out of the car, I'm going to drive everyone else right off this fucking cliff, and it's going to be your fault, and you're going to have to live with that. You know what I mean?
That's the vibe. No, keep in mind, I don't say any of that. I'm just communicating this with my energy.
Fine, go.
Yeah. Because if I were to say it explicitly, then that would just be too much. But anyways, that's I think that scenario would be really hot, and you could really take that sexually in a bunch of different directions.
No, I'm totally turned on right now.
John, I didn't mean to.
So we're in like a burger place or something like that. Is that
it's like a
at?
burger place. They're on roller skates. They come to you, order stuff. They're wearing short skirts, and we're talking the most beautiful women you've ever seen.
Yeah, and everyone's horny from the Spanish Fly.
Yeah, everyone's super horny. The energy is off the charts. It's senior year, you feel invincible.
So I order my food. This girl brings it out. I order a plain hamburger because that's all they served back then. Just a piece of meat on bread with a Coke. This guy pulls next to me. He's like the high school quarterback, super popular guy. And he's driving the same car as me. He kind of revs it. His is cleaner. He kind of just like scoffs at mine. So I challenge him to a drag race. And everyone walks out to the parking lot. Everyone's super horny. I crank up the volume on the radio and it's playing Elvis. All the women just sort of start to flood. You know what I mean? Like everyone's dripping wet from how horny they are.
Yes.
So he's like, "What do you want to race for?" And I was like, "Let's race for a squirt." And he's like, "Okay." And I look back at his girl that's waiting. She's waiting on the side, and I wink at her. No. Turn up the volume even more, and everyone's just like cheering. You know, everyone's like screaming. The race starts. Go like 15 feet, and I just kind of nudge him. He hits a curb and flips the car over. I drive straight and win. I drive back around. She gets in the car, and I finger her until she squirts all over my front seat.
How long does it take her?
It's like 15 seconds.
Damn.
This entire thing.
Up.
This entire thing takes less than a minute for me to complete.
Everyone's watching you or surrounding the car as well.
Everyone's screaming.
Yeah. That's Spanish fly. Like the stuff you used to be able to get in Mexico and bring it over. That's like what would happen.
The real deal, yeah.
Yeah. That's what
I picture.
Go on.
I was just gonna say, I picture everybody like pressed up against your car windows, like watching you finger blast her, like cupping their hands around their eyes.
Yeah.
Pressed up against the window. Just the whole burger place.
That's an ecstatic energy like I would kill to be a part of. You know what I mean? Everyone is all in.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, Mike. That's when the Spanish fly was real. Now everybody's fucked up on fentanyl and Adderall and shit.
Yeah, the truck stop K2 synthetic jewel gigapet bullshit.
Yeah.
What's playing on the radio when this when you finally get your girl in this scenario? Because you're a music guy.
You said Chubby Checker, so I was thinking that it would be Elvis, like, the hysteria of when Elvis hit. Like I crank it up and they've never heard it before, and they're just like, they're horny, they're full of these burgers, and they're just losing their minds over it. You know what I mean? Like seeing the Beatles or something.
That energy, that chaotic energy.
As soon as you said 50s diner type place, I immediately thought of driving a car off a cliff, because like that happens in every single 50s movie with a car.
Yeah, I thought that too. What do you got for that one, Mike?
Okay, so I'm there with my 3 buds. I'm like, check this out. Girls, you know what I mean? Come and get your shots. They line up one by one. There's like 10 of them. Each one, they're all exactly the same shape and demeanor. They all take shots of the Spanish fly. And
you make them ask for it like they're baby birds. You're like, open up, Mama Bird's got something for you.
Sure, we can do that. But I'm sitting in the car. I'm holding a tray out, and they're taking the shots. I'm looking at my boys, and I'm like, not bad, huh? They take the last shot. I literally throw the tray it's on just like extremely hard against the ground, and they continue working and doing their stuff. And I'm like, now let's kick back and watch the magic happen. Okay. And they're like, what? I don't see anything. I'm like, trust me, bro. I turn up Chubby Checker, Let's Twist like we did last summer. And they start noticing that the women are like getting really hot and sweaty and stuff. And then they start like gesturing towards men to come out of their cars and stuff, and they all start having sex all over the place. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I'm just laying back, and I'm like, to my friends, I'm like, not bad. How cool is this? And they're like, yeah, that's pretty cool. I wish I was one of those people having sex right now because I'm in high school and I'm a virgin. I'm like, well, we can have our own fun here. You know what I mean? The guy in the back's like, what are you talking about, dude? And I turn around, I'm like, use your imagination. While that happens, he notices that I'm already masturbating in front of them. And I have my hand on my friend's crotch, rubbing his thighs, like, whoa. And I'm like, come on, relax, dude. Everyone does this. This is a normal thing that we do. You know what I mean? You said you wanted to go to the army. You know you're going to have to do this in the army. You know what I mean? And the guy in the back is like, but I'm going to be... And the guy in the back is like, well, what about me? I'm not joining the army. I'm going to be a hippie. I'm like... You think you're not going to experiment with your sexuality as a hippie, dude? You better start baiting. He's like, oh, I guess you're right. You know, I really like talk him into it. Mm-hmm. I'm like, let's go for a drive and let's just enjoy this. We hit the road and it's peaceful out. You know what I mean? It's just, you're driving around a small town. It's actually beautiful. We were all slow stroking. And I'm like, oh, well, the Wolfman's like, and next up, Richie Valley playing Donna. You know what I mean? A very romantic, dreamy song. Beautiful song. And we're just three guys just driving around. I put my hand, while masturbating, I'm driving with my knees. I put my hand out the window and make it feel like I'm feeling the wind. You know what I mean? Another guy, the guy in the back, sticks his head out the window. He's like, I want to feel this way forever. You know what I mean? And the guy, you know what I mean? We each are like just vibing, experiencing it the way we want. I'm about to rope, and my eyes go in the back of my head. A truck comes, fucking smashes into us. All three of us die in that car wreck. An onlooker sees it happening. And he wants to run in there and retrieve our class rings to identify our bodies. The car blows up. He's running towards it. The car blows up. The trucker was trying to keep him back away. It blows this guy's dick clean off.
What a tragedy.
Perfect hole. Like a hole puncher. We're talking a perfect hole right where this guy's genitals used to be. You know what I mean? Didn't hit anything else. It's kind of like a miracle situation. And people remember that more than they remember the three guys who were free for just 2 minutes of their lives.
Yeah. They had their whole future ahead of them, too.
They just wanted to feel free.
Were you jacking each other off or just jacking yourselves off?
Every which way. Myself, others, everywhere. It was just... Who was...
Nobody, yeah, you're right. Nobody will remember that beautiful moment of freedom. They'll all remember the guy who got his dick and balls blown off.
Right now, these dumbasses, if some dumbass was doing that now, they'd be live TikToking it or something like that. You know what I mean? They'd have to tell everyone, oh, look at me, I'm so special. You know what I mean? For their brand, their personal brand or whatever. It's pathetic. It's sickening.
Yeah, people want to put. It's like every time they rope, they want a camera on them. You know, to capture it. Like they can't have a private experience in private.
Yeah, they like want you to. They'll go on. My favorite thing I keep thinking about is when just how humiliation hungry these poor fools are. My favorite thing, honestly, was when someone on Twitter was like, "Guys, no more of this stuff. No more pornography. I'm quitting. This is the last time I look at pornography." You know what I mean? It's like this. It's a weird double thing where they're like, I'm not doing this. I don't need to be humiliated anymore. Yet not realizing how humiliating and pathetic it is to talk about your addiction to pornography on the internet where literally anyone can find it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think about that so much. I think that's the sickest, weirdest thing.
But then they can also, like, when they inevitably relapse, they can be like,
yeah,
I just need to take care of myself right now. You know, I'm feeling really down. And I need to, really learn to be kind to myself in this moment because, and then everybody can, it's like a perverse incentive structure where they can be like in self-righteous, but then also feel like garner sympathy from people.
So cool.
And both ends of it. It's a pretty sophisticated way of getting attention.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's next level. And there's also this other thing I really like. I kind of brought it up when it was just John and I, when I was talking about this Australian woman who now makes TikToks about how she was mistreated as a model, but makes these posts where she's just like kind of exploiting her body. It'll be two pictures. It'll be of the same person. It'll be a woman wearing like a sports bra and like short shorts, and she's like, this is how I look when I'm modeling, and this is how I look when I'm not modeling. You know what I mean? Modeling is it's not real. You know, they're saying like, don't believe everything you see, fellas. But you're doing the same exact thing. I just
I gotta check out that Australian. She was talking about how she was like I
think she had like an
going on against like
and like just exploited as a model. But then whatever.
Did you guys see those videos I sent the other day? It's this fucking guy that goes to drive-through windows and he's like, I got one question for you. He's like, how are you feeling today? And they're like,
no, I couldn't.
You gotta watch them. They're just fucking made me feel insane. So
I gotta. I couldn't watch. I couldn't like. I was in jury duty.
Oh, okay.
So I couldn't like listen to it. But the guy looked like such a fucking asshole.
I'll find it. So they'll be like, I'm doing good, and he'll be like, he's like, pick a number between 1 and 70, and they're like 30, and he's like, here's a $30 tip, and then he leaves, and it's fucking so gross.
An asshole.
Yeah.
And I like how he capped it at 70. You know, it's like why wouldn't you go higher than that if you're gonna be like a fucking baller? You know?
Looking at his bills really quick. So pick a number between 1 and 1775.
Right. Well, I gotta go take a piss. So this feels like a good time to end, guys.
I got some ice cream bars I'm looking forward to eating. Drumsticks.
Haagen-Dazs? Oh, drumsticks.
Classic drumsticks.